So I got to think in the Formula car when there's not all the engine noise, they can probably hear the tires, right? Like
For sure.
the thing's not screaming when you let off the throttle. So, uh, yeah, they got to be able to hear the tires getting to the edge, and there's probably a sound associated with actually pushing the tire over the edge. It was crazy. And the noises from the crash on Friday during practice.
Mm.
Oh,
It emphasizes it so much more, doesn't it?
yeah. It you hear every little bit. You hear the carbon falling on the ground. You hear the squeal of the tires. All the crunchy, crazy noises that happens when a car hits the barricade. It was an experience. I'm excited to watch more.
Hmm. I
Something
think Formula. Go on.
Well, I was about to say something I did have a question about is safety regarding the battery in impact situations, right? I'm sure we've all seen videos of what happens when batteries go up in flames,
Hmm.
or they get punctured, or stuff like that. And I gotta imagine there's just tons of carbon fiber around those power cells. But how do you put a fire out
Hmm.
like that? You know,
Well, it's
what
something that hasn't
happens?
come up. Like I've
Yeah.
watched every Formula E race since its inception, and I can't honestly recall there being a significant battery-related fire or safety issue. Um, Certainly nothing major. That there might
Yeah.
have been like the odd moment in a shakedown or a practice session. The closest thing we've had to safety failures in Formula E were actually in pre-season testing this year, and that wasn't to do with the battery; it was to do with the brakes.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just hasn't come up. So either it's completely safe, or the safeguards they have put in have been really effective
Yeah.
to prevent anything like that happening.
Well, you've seen Formula One races where drivers are being told, "Hey, stand up onto the halo or the edge of the car. Don't touch anything metal, and then jump as far away from the car
Hmm.
as you can. Don't touch the car because of something in the hybrid system failed, or was it the KERS system or
So
something?
it can either or, yeah.
There was some component on the car that could fail in such a way that it would mess with the grounding, and they would have to be told, "Don't touch anything metal. Make a big giant leap from the car and get as far away from it as you can." So, I guess the fact that it's just one big battery and not like several different systems integrated into each other that have these weak points that can fail, and there's obviously no fire in an electric engine. There's no combustion, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just had a weird thoughts during the race about like, oh man, if this car breaks in half, like what happened with Romain Grosjean,
Mm.
or any number of the major crashes that Formula One's seen over the years, this could be catastrophic, like in
Yeah.
a crazy way.
Yeah, I think it's something you think about when you're introduced to a new series that's fundamentally very different from everything else, like
Yeah,
electric racing. It's the sort of thing that you're just like, what if this happens? And so far, mercifully, we haven't experienced anything majorly dangerous that's unique to electric racing. That it just hasn't been a thing that we've seen in Formula E, at least. As you say, it has been a thing where other series have implemented partial electrification, but there haven't been many major incidents that were solely because these cars are fully electric. But I guess that's just testament to this series now being 10 seasons old. It's I think
is
the
it really
series
10
started 2014 it started, so technically I think it's probably the ninth season.
Okay,
But
dang.
the
Uh,
evolution from the first race, which was awful, the first series was terrible. You had two cars per driver per race
right.
because these cars couldn't do the full race distance. They were slow as shit. Um, and then, the Gen 2 car was a massive step up, both in speed and racing action. And now the Gen 3 car is superb. Like the speed that thing generates on the courses that they run.
I wasn't
Um,
prepared for when the green flag dropped, when the lights went out, and
they
just
go.
how, holy shit. like it'll blow your eyeballs back.
And I think this track showcased how quick and agile these cars are as well. I remember you saying after seeing some of practice, like the combination of the dust and also, you know, the way the corners were and how sketchy it was if you went offline and how much the drivers were tempted to go offline. You could really see how fast these cars were in Hyderabad, and you've only got to see, you know, Pascal's crash in practice 1. That was at a relatively slow speed corner for the track, and it totaled it. You know,
I think his throttle got stuck, right?
Yes,
his throttle got stuck at 100% or something like that, and just drove him into the fucking wall. And it was a software issue, which is something that, you know, in motorsport you don't hear very often. You know.
So whilst I say there hasn't been many cases of things that happen because of the full electrification, you see it a lot with when you make, not just in Formula E, but like it bears in mind with Formula 1, you know, when we've got brake-by-wire and sort of more electrification and less analog physical things making the car do slowing down. You know, we see these kind of crashes happen more often, and obviously with Formula E being mostly electrical, you know, we have had a couple of incidents in the past where either throttles have jammed or brakes have gone. But I guess it's just part and parcel of full electrification.
This is Into the Apex Motorsport Podcast Network.